Welcome to The Running Man. If you haven't already, again, hit the subscribe button to never miss a video. We have daily film content, including movie reviews, movie news, and so much more. So again, hit the subscribe button to never miss a video. That's right, today we are talking about the new Edgar Wright film, The Running Man, starring Glenn Powell, with supporting performances by Josh Brolin, Michael Cera, and a cameo with Coleman Domingo, who absolutely just steals every scene he's in. He plays Booker, the show's host, and I have to say he's just so energetic and charismatic in this film. Even though he only has a few small scenes, he kills it in every scene. Like, I remember seeing a trailer for this film pretty much like 3 or 4 times a week, every week for the past like 6 weeks. And he was always pretty prominent in the trailer. And the trailer never got old just because of how charismatic his character is. It just was just the right performance for this film to kind of take that persona of this game show host of a rather morally questionable game show. So he definitely kills it. Josh Brolin, I mean, again, supporting role, but just nails it right on the head. And again, a lot of this is all to do with the script. You have such a witty and punchy script. You know, the dialogue is razor sharp. You know, it's everything you would expect from an Edgar Wright film, because he just has this way of just creating these charismatic, electrifying characters that just work in the best way, and he finds that perfect balance. Like, even our main character, Ben Richards, he has this, wittiness about him, but at the same time, he also is very down to earth and has this, like, not heroic complex, but he's very much the hero that you need that doesn't want to be a hero. Like, he's very much the perfect protagonist. And throughout the film, his dialogue is just spot on, because he knows what to say, when to say it. Like, he has these witty moments where it's not comedic, but it's so razor sharp and witty, it comes off comedic, even when it's not supposed to be funny. And it has that perfect blend. And then, of course, we have Michael Cera's character, who is, for some reason, in every movie, Michael Cera always kind of, with the exception of Superbad. Superbad was definitely the exception. He kind of plays like a hipster-like character. He just gives off hipster vibes. Like, even in this dystopian kind of futuristic film where the world's gone to hell, Michael Cera's character somehow still manages to kind of feel like a hipster, but like this like rebel hipster. Like, he manages to take the the embodiment of a hipster and just kind of take it and transform it into an entire different, style, if you were, or different genre of hipster, or clique. Like, becoming this like rebel who's also kind of a hipster in his own way. And that is not an insult, that is the highest of compliments, because I absolutely love Michael Cera. It's almost like if you take his character from Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and like things didn't work out with Nora and he's kind of in like a bad headspace. That's what he kind of feels like in this movie. And it's the best possible thing. Like, it really lightens up the film. He just gets to play this character that is so much, in his wheelhouse without actually, taking away from the character or the story. And of course, we have to talk about the score. Or more importantly, the soundtrack, because the film opens, and after Baby Driver, we know Edgar Wright just has the perfect, ear for a good soundtrack. The movie opens with this really upbeat, perfect soundtrack in like the opening couple sequences that really just kind of pump the adrenaline and just get it going in the best possible way. It really upbeats this film, because this film is like 2 hours and 15 minutes long. A little on the longer side. Anytime a film is over 2 hours, I always question, does it really need to be that long? Especially your blockbuster films, your popcorn films. Yes, there are certain epics that need to be well over 2 hours to tell the story in completion and to really give us a good understanding of the characters, a development, and a good story arc. Now, in popcorn flicks, anything over 2 hours usually is concerning. Now, again, you have films that are 2 hours of popcorn flicks that generally do work. And this is one of those times when it really works. And unlike some films, though, because even when films do work, they have those moments of kind of dullness where they kind of feel like they're dragging out, even though they kind of are somewhat, I'm not going to say important to the story, but they definitely have a plot point in there that kind of moves the story along. Whereas in this film, the entire movie is like lean. It's longer, but it's lean. It's like eating just a perfect steak. You know, it could be a 14-ounce steak, a little bit on the bigger side of a lean cut steak, but it's just pure, like a 14-ounce filet mignon. Like, that's a big filet mignon. Usually filet mignons are like 8 ounces. But if you got take two together and kind of put them on a plate together, call it 14 ounces. That's what this movie is. It's the perfect cut of a longer film. And again, Edgar Wright, I feel like he just has, I don't think I've ever seen a bad Edgar Wright film, because he just knows how to craft these films and really kind of have the pacing and the tone to balance it out. And that's where you kind of find this. It's a longer film, but he manages to make everything just the right tempo that it does not feel like you're sitting through an over 2 hour film. I mean, overall, the performances are great. There's not a bad performance in this movie. Again, it's a popcorn flick, so you could say, oh, well, it's there's nothing really there to really chew on, or there's nothing there to really kind of take on or embody a hard character. And you could argue that. But again, at the same time, you have these characters that are unusual, and they just kind of pull it off in the best possible way. Like Glenn Powell here proves that he could be a leading man, and he can star in and carry a good blockbuster film. I mean, we've seen him before in other films where he was more or less the main character, but never in a film of this magnitude. And it kind of goes to show, yeah, he can carry a franchise. He has what it takes to do so. Again, not really much on his acting range, although he does have range. He's done a slew of other films that really show that he has that kind of character actor in him. But here we don't really necessarily need to see that, because he plays a rather straightforward character, not one that's overly complex, and the film's not supposed to be. It does have other types of undertones throughout, but it's not anything. The film plays out, the film plays out very much like a popcorn blockbuster, and it works perfectly in that wheelhouse. So overall, I really don't have much bad to say about this movie. I really enjoyed it. I went in expecting a lot, and my expectations were completely fulfilled. I mean, it was such a fun, exhilarating ride, and again, everything just worked right in this one. I think you definitely have a really solid film here, and my overall rating is going to be a Ferris Bueller without question. Like, I'm already planning on seeing this again in theaters, depending upon what other films are playing, to try to squeeze another screening in, because got a lot of films to see this week. But this is, without question, a great movie. I mean, if you go in knowing what to expect, you're going to come out beyond fulfilled. I mean, I absolutely love this movie. Again, couldn't say a bad thing about it. I think Edgar Wright really nailed this on the head and made a great Stephen King adaptation, which is something that is not often done. So with that being said, have you seen The Running Man? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let me know.